Welcome to Sunday. Bit of a glowering sky. You find me just starting work on my cold frame. You might remember Will brought home old notice board from the post office, which is just there at the moment. So I'm just quickly working on shoring up the glass before I move on to making the sides. But whilst I was working on it, I quickly noticed through the window of the library there a couple of my Hellebores coming nicely into flower now, so I thought I'd quickly show you. They're all different colours. I got this lovely purple one. Beautiful. Look at that. Stunning. And behind it there's this creamy white one. Lovely. That one's not looking his best. And I noticed this one. Another sort of purpley one, but a much lighter colour. This one's not currently doing much, but thinking about it. It's more of a yellow one. And then this one's another sort of pinky one. These can't really be seen so well from the library window, but I looked out and I saw these two right enough. Very jolly. I love Hellebores. Really brighten this time of year up. Anyway, I'm back off to carry on my work on my cold frame. Wish me luck. Welcome to yet another day. You catch me in the midst of trying out an experiment with these giant pencil looking things. Essentially, I, as you know, made these guards for the new trees I planted. Those white things you can see in the distance. And I needed to plant the trees pretty promptly because they were bare rooted. And I scrabbled around looking for stakes, and what I found was some old scraps of wood that Will had generated from when he was working on his workshop. They're very temporary. They did the job, but they're not particularly strong. So if I lay these down, it occurred to me that it might be possible for us to make our own. So this is wood that I had set aside from Operation Tree Thinning behind the house. So the woods up the hill and behind the house that I've been intermittently showing you. And so this is the second kindling wood. So these are the sort of long, thin bits of wood which are too small to go on the fire as wood to burn during the day, but big enough to mean that I don't need to just put them on my bonfire and get rid of them. And they're all sort of quite long and straight. So I asked Will if he thought it would be possible to whittle pointy ends on them, and he did that for me this morning. So what I'm going to do now is see if I can put some of these in the ground around some of these frames that I made, and see if in future we can just make our own stakes for the garden. That would be awesome. I mean, we have no shortage of wood either yon direction or that direction, or indeed that direction. So I was in Bunnings yesterday, so I was looking to get more of these, but they're like $8 each. And I'm thinking, I'm not spending that when I can potentially make them for free. So what I'm going to do now is grab my hammer and see what happens when I try using these. Quickly also wanted to show you this today. This is my cold frame. Do you remember I was talking about how Will had snaffled the old post office notice board, which is this white thing, and they replaced it, so we asked if he could have it and they said yes. And I had designs of turning it into a cold frame, so this is as far as I've got. So I made these walls either side of it. I made this back. I had to replace this bit of wood which is holding together an old repair, and I've put this bit of wood along here. So essentially, as you can see, what happens now is you lift the lid. Inside's where my seedlings and young plants will go. And what I'm going to do here is put a strip of fly screen mesh. That's probably not something I would do in the UK, but over here, even in winter, there's potential for it to get too hot, really, than I need it to inside there. This is perspex, by the way, not glass. Anyway, by the by. So I thought a strip of fly screen netting might help regulate the temperatures. It'll be probably over here alongside this fence for the orchard, but I'm not 100% sure yet. At least to begin with, it'll go there. And but before I put the mesh on, what I'm going to do is paint it. I'm going to undercoat it, and then I'm going to paint it British Racing Green. Got a lot of wallabies out this afternoon. No. Oh, just in passing. Bloody cockatoos. Nibbled all of the tops off of these daffodils. Count yourself lucky if you're in the UK. Anyway, I'll weave my way through these wallabies. Oh, there's a kangaroo. Because I just wanted to give you an update on my new stakes. You would have seen me putting this up, but I wanted to give it a couple of days just to see how it went. Look at this. Solid as a rock. And the tree inside, all lovely and snug. So they worked a treat. Hello. So I've commissioned Will to make more for the rest for these and for those as well. Although I might come up with a different solution for that lemon tree. That's the one that got completely decimated by that rogue wallaby. I just have to get more firewood up to the house, and I thought whilst I was at it I might give you a quick update on another couple of things, but I'll go and do this boring chore first before I share with you less boring stuff, although don't get your hopes up, it's not exactly interesting either. Anyway, I'll see you in a bit. That's the wood up at the house, and that means that I can update you on this for one. I know I said I wasn't going to update you on Will's workshop until it was finished, but I realised that that might take some time because there's a deceptively large amount of stuff still to do. So Will plans to put some wood here to cover this column, but also help this wood stick. He wants to put some beading up this corner, some beading on the ceiling, which he says he will make himself, or try to. But the thing that I have done is I have put this 2 layers of undercoat on the walls, and we have the top coat, and I'll put that up for Will. I'm waiting for this work to get done first, then I'll undercoat that, and then I'll do the paint. And then, as I've mentioned before, there's a tool cabinet to go here, and a cupboard and some shelves Will's going to build, and tools will be hanging on the walls. The drill press is still to go where it's going to live, so that means there's a few bits and pieces left to do, hence giving you on the fly updates rather than my when it's done update, which I had planned to do. And along those lines, at the same time I also gave my cold frame some layers of primer, and it's probably looking a bit different to the last time you saw it. It's not going to be white when it's finished. I'm painting it glossy British racing green, I think I mentioned that. And then the last thing I will do is put that fly screen mesh here to give me a bit of airflow, and then I'll move it with Will's help. It's quite heavy, but I'm very pleased with that. That was my design, and I basically built all of it on my own, and so I'm very pleased with that. Those of you who know me might find that hard to believe, but anyway, I did. You can trust the veracity of that statement. And I've got the potting compost that I need for my seeds down in my potting shed, so all being well, therefore in a few days time, or a couple of weeks tops, this will be in situ with plants in it starting to germinate. I'm off now to do some boring stuff related to tax returns. Another short one this week, but anyway, that's how it goes sometimes. I hope you have a good weekend if you have one, and I'll see you next week. Bye.